All right, back again, late night. It has been a busy holiday. Pretty busy holiday, at least for me. Y'all probably know, or you're probably subscribed to a bunch of YouTubers who pump out like a mass amount of content. Yeah, I'm not doing it like that, but for me, I've been busy. And I don't really have a real subject. That's why I gave the title a vague description. And I just want to sort of remind people of the future and let them know that the end of dog culture, it started with this era. The era that you're listening to right now of this video. It began in this era. And for me, this era started around the year 2000. Now, there was anti-dog content before the year 2000. But it really took off around the year 2000. Now, probably the pioneer probably was that attorney, Kenneth Phillips, right? I'm probably still getting his name wrong. He came out, 1999. Then, of course, you had Caesar in the 2000s, right? Around 2005, somewhere in there. Then you had the Michael Vick thing. Was it 2006 or 7? Somewhere in there. But around the 20 teens, definitely the 20 teens, boy, we started pushing back against this dog culture like never before. So you see, it didn't take us much time. As soon as we entered into the internet era, basically, we kicked it off. Wasted no time. All we needed was a way to connect with others who share the same views. That was it. And I want to deal with some of the things that we've noticed in this era that has helped us to debunk the propaganda. Okay, to combat the propaganda, which was necessary in order to topple this deranged culture. Now, this is the article that everybody's talking about. Dog culture must end. Now, I talked about it in the most recent live stream, but I don't think I shared the link. So I'm going to share a link, or the link, in this one. Maybe I did, maybe I forgot. I've been very busy. But this is the article that everybody's talking about. And it's, I breathed a sigh of relief after I read it. You know, of course I would have written a different article. That's good enough. Dog culture must end. Yes, and understand, this article surfaced in this era. It must end. We saw the light in this era. Now, what I want y'all to notice about the author is that she's a respected author. She's a respected author. You know, it is what it is. She's put in quite a bit of work. Like, when you look up the articles that she's authored, it's an extensive list. Here's a short list here. several articles in Mother Jones. She's also written for, like I said, Slate Next City, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute. Well, they have a biography of her in Slate magazine. How about that? So I said she used to work, or she's written for them. Isn't that right? Isn't that what these are? Little short bios. News writer for Mother Jones, New York office. So they do have an office. Mother Jones. Good. She previously wrote for AM New York and for NYU's Washington Square News. So I know anybody can be a journalist these days. Literally anybody. But some journalists actually have a track record. They have a portfolio. They got a resume. A strong resume. This sounds like someone who's put in more work than usual. Right? Abigail Weinberg. And like I said, she's and Mother Jones, they're like connected to or with Slate magazine. Where did I see that? Let's check that out. Cause I'm sitting here wondering now. I always gotta, or I want to, or try my best to give people accurate information. What is this? Paste. Now here is their Twitter handle. And their Twitter almost got 1 million followers. A lot of the people that follow me follow Mother Jones. Now, maybe they just recently started following her. Right? But I'm following them. Now, where's Slate? Okay, here's Slate handle. Well over 1 million, almost 2 million followers. Okay, well, let's go back. Let's go back to Mother Jones. There we go. Let's do this. You see? Slate follows them. Now, I know that doesn't mean anything, but they seem affiliated in some way. Maybe they share writers. Maybe they share journalists. Maybe they trade journalists. The same way, I don't know, sports organizations like the UFC and ONE trade fighters. But some of their writers that have written for Slate, I assume, other writers other than this particular one, have written also for Mother Jones. And like I said, Mother Jones, you can do your research, fairly well respected media outlet. And my point is, no respected media outlet is going to dare allow one of their writers to publish an article under their name in their publication that has a bunch of misinformation. Let's just deal with misinformation. I don't believe so, unless they specialize in misinformation. This is not that type of media outlet. This is not like the Dodo. The Dodo specializes in misinformation. They don't share nothing but misinformation. They're not going to do that. So, and that's just for all of you who think we're crazy. Okay, if we're so crazy, then why is our talking points, why is our narratives also pushed by very well-respected media outlets. Basically to a T. So until you can explain that, I'm not trying to hear what you're talking about. Now, this surfaced 3 hours ago. Listen to this. This story may not have surfaced 3 hours ago, or it may have. It may have. It's a very new story. I don't even think it's 24 hours old yet. Out of San Antonio.
I have a man in his 40s undergoing surgery today after being brutally attacked by a neighbor's 2 pit bulls. This happening on the city's northeast side today. San Antonio Police and Animal Care Services called to this home in Heidelberg Street near Randolph Boulevard. The victim's roommate telling KSAT 12 that his friend was just sitting in his yard like he would on any other day when his neighbor's 2 dogs were let out.
Okay, let's stop there. Look at this yard that you're talking about. Look at the yard. Now, if you live in a place like this and your neighbor's got some pit bulls behind one of these janky fences, if you decide to sit out in your yard, won't you have a gun in your lap? Just in case those dumb dogs do exactly what they did here, slip underneath the fence. Okay? Now, the only time you would not have a gun in your lap is if you fall for the brainwashery from society in regard to dogs, where they convince you to treat dogs like they're harmless. You see where that'll get you.
That roommate says that all of a sudden they crawled under a fence and attacked.
All of a sudden. Unprovoked. Yet another unprovoked attack. So we're not going to let you just sit there and claim that these attacks are provoked when they clearly are not. You don't give a voice through these big media outlets for people to say what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying it. So shut up. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm sick of y'all's complaining. Complaining about me, complaining about y'all. You don't give people anything to complain about, they won't complain. So just shut up.
I was inside. I just woke up, making my coffee. I didn't hear a thing out here. I walked outside. Good thing I did. It's the worst injuries I've seen ever to a human body.
All right, buddy. He's very animated. You can tell this is a guy who, if you get a couple drinks inside of him, he'll be able to tell you a story or two. Right? You can tell he can elaborate.
I was inside. I just woke up, making my coffee. I didn't hear a thing out here. I walked outside. Good thing I did. It's the worst injuries I've seen ever to a human body.
Well said. Well said. And I'm glad we got you on film saying that in this era. Because the truth is, these are the worst injuries that human beings sustain. That's just how it is. Is the injuries sustained from dog attacks. That's why they always edit them out, blur them out, and never want you to see them. They don't want you to see how horrific these people are injured.
Sutton telling KSAT that he came out with his gun, called for help, and then held the 2 dogs.
He came out with his gun. There's your problem. Okay, now he said he came outside. So he should have been out there. And whoever was outside should have had a gun with them. Don't be sitting out there. You knew the dogs were there. But you accepted them as harmless. You opted to pretend that they were harmless. Okay, that's unrealistic thinking. Okay? It's not personal. That's just unrealistic thinking. And you shouldn't have been thinking like that. You should have been thinking along the lines, these are killers, and at any moment they could escape and try to kill me. And that's exactly what happened.
Dogs at bay while EMS medics pulled his friend from the yard. SAPD tells us the victim's injuries to his arms and torso are serious. Those dogs are currently on a 10-day quarantine at Animal Care.
They're very serious. Extremely serious injuries. And he could suffer from multiple infections that could kill him.
Care services to determine whether they are dangerous, and criminal charges.
What? Y'all catch that?
On a 10-day quarantine at Animal Care Services to determine whether they are dangerous.
10-day quarantine to determine if they are dangerous. Okay, now, why do you need to know any more than what you know in this case? Why isn't this case enough to say that they're dangerous? This is an unprovoked attack. Why do they have to have launched an unprovoked attack in the past? Why does it have to be the second unprovoked attack? Why? That makes no sense. So if it has not been determined as dangerous or considered dangerous by law, then what are you saying? You're saying that it attacked them for some type of understandable reason? Why are we giving them this free pass? What is it supposed to mean if it has no history of attacking people unprovoked? What are you saying that suggests? You're trying to say that it suggests that the dog attacked for some type of understandable reason, or the attack in general was out of character for the dog. No, it was not. Because the only thing that was stopping them from attacking sooner was the fence. They simply failed to crawl up under the fence sooner. And that's the case with all of these attacks. I don't want to hear this nonsense, all these lies. You try to cover up lies with more lies. Okay? So, now if you sit outside with a gun, somebody asks, hey, what are you doing with that gun? And you say, I got this gun for those dogs next door. A dog lover would look at you like you're crazy and call that xenophobia. Yet, if those dogs break loose, they're going to be getting eaten up. Well, not eaten up. Of course, dogs don't eat like normal creatures, animals. You're going to be getting mutilated. Whereas, if it attacks me, it's going to be getting shot. Whole different scenario. All because I'm practicing xenophobia.
And criminal charges could be filed.
Keep up.
Oh, but they may not be filed if this is the first time the dogs have shown aggression. This whole idea that they have to have shown aggression first before you can do anything to them is inhumane. Because you're treating human lives as if they're not more important than the dog's life. See, you're treating us just like you treat yourself and your own kids. And that's why we have the right to have a problem with it. Now, this is another media outlet of the same story. Remember again, this story surfaced about 3 or 4 hours ago, just a few hours ago.
Right now, we are following another dangerous dog attack from earlier this evening. Another dangerous dog attack, this time, though, on the northeast side. It happened just after 11 o'clock this morning along Heidelberg and Randolph Boulevard. Right now, we know the victim was rushed to a local hospital after two pit bulls attacked him in his backyard. Authorities say the two dogs were off leash and got under the neighbor's fence before attacking the victim. The man suffered severe injuries to both arms and his torso. At last check, he was stable, we're told ACS.
Look at those fences. I mean, just look at those fences. A pit bull can get underneath those or just jump over them. Oh, yes, they can. Okay, y'all see pit bulls behind fences like this, you are not safe.
Took both dogs from that scene. Now, this comes after another brutal dog attack in Bexar County over the weekend. Tonight, we're learning that victim also expected to be okay. The I-Team's Jordan Elder is here for you with what our county commissioners are saying needs to be done to prevent these types of attacks.
What needs to be done is to get rid of them. That's the only thing that works.
This is the second dog attack in Bexar County jurisdiction in the last few months. Today, we came to Commissioner's Court seeking answers from those leaders on what they can do to keep you safe.
In my own neighborhood in the South Side, I don't go walking because of all the stray dogs.
One of the politicians get up there and tells us that they don't go walking in their own neighborhood because of dogs. Okay, so you agree we have a problem.
I don't go walking because of all the stray dogs.
Stray and aggressive dogs are an issue across the area, brought to a head recently after a 68-year-old man was bit several times in southwest Bexar County. And a teenager suffered serious wounds after he was attacked by pit bulls in northeast Bexar County.
Well, clearly we've seen some incidents here recently that are concerning, and I think it begs the question, what can we do to address those issues?
But as the I-Team told you last month, the state sets the dangerous dog guidelines for the county, meaning the requirements are strict. The commissioners tell us
the state sets the guidelines, so the requirements are strict. Is that what she said? I know she didn't just say that.
I think it begs the question, what can we do to address those issues?
But as the I-Team told you last month, the state sets the dangerous dog guidelines for the county, meaning the requirements are strict.
The requirements are not strict. Ain't nothing strict about the dangerous dog guidelines. What are you talking about?
The commissioners tell us some solutions are already underway.
Ain't no solutions under no way. Stop it. More circus, playing games. You know they don't have no intentions on doing nothing serious that will really increase safety.
Proposed budget includes more animal control staff.
There you go. Increased budget for more dog control staff. So what? So you can call them and they can not come out there or take a few hours to get out there like they always do? No matter where you go, the people tell you animal control there is worthless. So we want more of that, right? More worthlessness.
We're going to be building a larger animal control facility in the rural area on the southwest side.
Wait. What'd she say?
For the county, meaning the requirements are strict. The commissioners tell us some solutions are already underway. The proposed budget includes more animal control staff.
We're going to be building a larger animal control facility in the rural area on the southwest side off of Cagnan.
A larger control facility. What good is that going to do? If the dog lovers refuse to, go pick up these dogs, it's not going to help. It's wasting money.
And in the budget, we've also advocated to get an animal transport van.
An animal transport van?
That van would help transfer dogs to more northern states if they can't get adopted here.
Transport them to more northern states if they can't get adopted here. So you're going to use funds to get vans to try to help disperse these dogs so they can get adopted. It's all about getting them adopted out, huh? Oh, the problem is nobody will adopt them. It is so pathetic. So reckless. Shouldn't be trying to get these things into people's homes. That's dangerous. Inside of people's homes is where kids live. Why would you want dogs in there? You're all out of your mind. That's why. You're plumb out of your minds. Okay? Let the record show we identified that in this era. Lunatic.
Other commissioners are seeking more information, like a map of where stray and aggressive calls are coming from.
Do you believe animal control has the resources they need to be able to respond to all of these bites and aggressive calls?
You don't need resources to respond to no call about a dog attack. How much resources do you think you need? Just the personnel to drive out there and show up? Making a business out of people calling for help for a pet that they purchase is stupid on its face. People acquiring so-called pets that they end up needing to call law enforcement to save them from is stupid on its face. That's what we need to be talking about, how dumb that is. If we stop it at that point, we don't have to talk about nothing else. See? Okay, and that's a very dumb thing to do. So why don't we talk about that? The whole idea of owning these things as pets is the insane idea that we need to get rid of, that we need to challenge.
I don't have a great sense for all the resources that they have, or if there's any inadequacies in that. I think we're going to go ahead as a staff, ask those questions and make sure that they're getting what they need.
Commissioner Moody says it's important that you report aggressive dogs and keep your dogs on your property.
If they're not responsible pet owners,
report aggressive dogs and keep your dogs on your property. What are you saying? Are you saying that currently they don't try to do that? Have you found or discovered that most of dog attacks take place because people intentionally let them off their property? Stop it. Stop it. You're just wasting time. Like I said, this is just a circus. This is why I call all this a circus. They're just offering a bunch of word salad, bunch of babble, and then just saying to the pit nutters, okay, go ahead and continue on as you were before.
Moody says it's important that you report aggressive dogs and keep your dogs on your property.
Report them for what? So that we can be ignored? So the call can be ignored and nothing can happen? We've got reports of people of hundreds of phone calls being made. Hundreds of phone calls being made and hundreds ignored. It seems like standard protocol to ignore phone calls of people calling the dog warden for loose or dangerous dogs.
Property.
if they're not responsible pet owners, then they're going to be held accountable for that when their pet injures somebody or even potentially kills an individual.
Jordan Elder, News 4.
That is not always true. Some of these nutters get off. What are you talking about? Some of them get off scot-free. Don't nothing happen. Especially when the parent of a child who was attacked works together with the owner of the dog that attacked their child. When that happens, you better forget about it. Nothing is going to happen to that dog. If the parent is a dog lover and their kid gets attacked by somebody else's dog, most likely nothing's going to happen to that dog. I will give you an example of what I'm talking about right now. Well, not here. We don't want to deal with that, at least not yet.
This is the face of a survivor.
It's a recent little documentary about Jacqueline Duran that surfaced a couple months ago. I got
Tonight, a gruesome.
Got some things to say about that, but not right now. Right now, I want y'all to check this out. Another story that surfaced a few hours ago that's being published by several media outlets. Now they're going to show some images and video footage that I'm not going to show, okay? But I'll let you know what's being shown.
Dog attack leaves a Valley toddler with extensive injuries.
Team 12's Gabriella Becerra shares his long road to recovery. But first, a warning. Some of the images you're about to see are graphic.
2-year-old Desmond Archer is back to doing all the things toddlers love to do.
It's like one of the first times you've laughed, dude.
But about 72 hours ago, he was undergoing plastic surgery at Phoenix.
See, I got a serious problem with this type of journalism, as you all know. Talking about how he's back to being a normal kid again. No, he's not. And the threat is still there. In fact, the same thing can happen to the same child again, because you ain't done nothing to make sure it don't happen again. And that's why all you want to talk about is how he's a hero. How the toddler is a hero. And I'm not kidding.
Children's Hospital.
When I saw what had happened, it just changed everything.
His mom, Kayla Archer, says a friend was babysitting Desmond while her family was busy moving on Saturday.
So her friend was babysitting her child because she was moving into a new apartment. Say, hey, buddy, could you watch my kid for me? We're moving. Buddy says, yeah. Come on inside with my pit bull. And what do? You let them. In order to do that, you have to be a pit bull lover yourself, or be extremely ignorant of pit bulls. That is possible. That is possible. Sad as it is, there are a lot of very uninformed people in the world. Okay, let's just get that clear.
I was literally looking at a video of him playing with balloons and laughing.
She's talking about her son who was attacked. She said she was literally, now what'd she say now? Let's hear that again.
Busy moving on Saturday.
I was literally looking at a video of him playing with balloons and laughing.
She was looking at a video of her son playing with balloons and laughing.
And then I put my phone in my pocket.
One of those balloons popped, spooking her friend's dog, a pit bull.
One of the balloons popped, scaring one of the pit bulls. Now, I personally don't believe this. I believe this part of the story was made up. I don't believe no balloon popped. And if it did, a balloon should be able to pop without anybody being in danger. If anybody is in danger because a balloon popped, and you're telling me there's an over greater than 50% chance that the attack victim is going to be a toddler, a child 13 and under, there's nothing to talk about. That so-called pet has no business even in the home. Y'all all know this.
Video of him playing with balloons and laughing. And then I put my phone in my pocket.
One of those balloons popped, spooking her friend's dog, a pit bull.
They called me back finally and they said, I'm so sorry, my dog attacked your kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. A balloon popped and my dog bit a chunk out of your kid's face. Your kid is now permanently disfigured, scarred for life. Now, you as the parent, don't tell me, do not sit there and tell me that you were not aware that this could happen. Okay? I don't want to hear that. This was a sacrifice. These are real life, real blood sacrifices. Listen.
Desmond was rushed to the hospital with a huge cut on the left side of his face.
Him, and he looked at me and he just said, "Mama," and his face was gone.
Archer says Desmond's cheek
His face was gone.
was missing, and doctors had to use a
Cheek was missing.
piece of salvaged skin to repair it.
The plastic surgeon did such an amazing job because we genuinely thought that he wasn't going to come out of it with just a line on his face.
Now home, Archer says Desmond is acting almost as if nothing happened.
Oh, now home, he's acting almost as if nothing happened. Huh? Okay, so how is he supposed to be acting? As opposed to acting like what? Is he supposed to be sitting in a corner, terrified, shaking and trembling and sweating and crying? Yeah, he's not doing that. But that doesn't mean that it's almost as if it never happened. He remembers this incident just fine. Like, what are you talking about? Don't talk for him. He hasn't told y'all that he's forgotten about it and I'm over it and it's like it never happened, so be quiet. But listen to this.
But he does remember.
Talks about it.
Oh, and they admit that he remembers and he talks about it. So stop saying that it's like it never happened. A bunch of dog defense. That's all them trying to defend the dog. The very dog that attacked him, mind you.
Come out of it with just a line on his face.
Now home, Archer says Desmond is acting almost as if nothing happened, but he does remember.
Talks about it. He's pieced together like everything that happened.
What?
And that's been great, but also
He's pieced together everything that happened.
so like really hard.
That dog.
He talks about it. They said that he talks about it, he remembers it, talks about it, and he pieced together everything that happened. That means it's not as if it never happened. He does not behave as if it never happens. What are you talking about? And there's the proof. What are you talking about?
Together like everything that happened, and that's been great, but also like really hard.
That dog remains with its owner. The toddler has a long road to recovery ahead of him, possibly more surgeries, but for now, he's just focused on.
That dog remains with its owner. Do y'all remember who the owner is? It's the friend of the mother of the child who was attacked. Right?
On playing with his cars.
So to see him go
Did you hear what they said? Let's listen again.
so like really hard.
That dog remains with its owner. The toddler has a long road to recovery ahead of him, possibly more surgeries, but for now, he's just focused on playing with his cars.
For now, he's just focused on playing with his cars. I was like, oh, he doesn't think about any of these surgeries that he's having, where he has to relive the incident and reflect on the incident over and over and over. Oh, he's not thinking about that. How you have discovered that is beyond me. These people just assume the position of a mind reader. Oh, all he thinks about is playing with his cars. All because sometimes he plays with his cars. Yeah, he's going to do that. If he's still alive, then eventually he'll get back around to playing with his cars. It's extremely disrespectful to treat that moment as if it's proof that it's been erased out of his mind. It's disrespectful and very childish and goofy and dumb. Oh my goodness. You have to spend so much time telling these people to stop saying ridiculous, absurd things. That is so problematic, man. We shouldn't have to do that, especially with other adults. This story disturbed me.
So to see him go from being pretty much immobile to normal,
To see him going from immobile to normal. And that what I told y'all? That's the purpose of running stories like this? To project these kids who've been attacked as if they're now so-called normal. And what they're trying to suggest is that now it's as if the attack never happened. Oh, don't worry about it. They'll get over it. Even if they're attacked, they'll live. And they'll get over it. And it'll be like it never happened. That's the narrative behind dog attacks on children. They'll get over it. Even if they're permanently disfigured, mind you. Oh, you'll get over it. It'll be like it never happened. You sitting there every day of your life for the rest of your life, looking at these deformities in this deformed face. And they're telling you, oh, it'll be just like it never happened. Okay. Would you consider that abuse?
pretty much immobile to normal. I just am so in awe of him. Like, I was joking with a friend that, like, Desmond is my hero because I can't imagine being that strong.
She can't imagine being that strong. Calling the toddler strong because he went from being immobile to now playing with toys. So to her, this is not about her irresponsible behavior and her irresponsible actions that actually got this boy attacked and permanently disfigured. That's not the subject of discussion. That's not what we're supposed to be talking about. You know, we're not supposed to talk about what she did along with her friend that got this boy attacked. Oh, we're not done. It's the same
Toddler
story.
attacked by a dog in Phoenix and left with some very serious injuries, and his family thanking the community for rallying around their loved one. That attack happening at a home near 7th Street and Greenway. ABC 15's Fenton Blandon got to meet that tough little 2-year-old who's already back on.
Here they go with, oh, the tough little guy. All this boy is doing is surviving. He's not doing anything. He's not doing nothing brave or tough. He survived. Don't call him brave. Don't call him tough simply because he takes a sip of water. He eats a plate of food or plays with his toy car. Stop with that foolishness, that idiocy. Shut up with that. God, corny and goofy. Shut up. This is why people don't like the media and media people. You're robotic, talking head phonies.
On his feet. But a warning, some of the photos in this story are pretty tough to see.
Who did your boo-boo?
Right here. She asked the boy, who did your boo-boo? See, this is disturbing right here.
Did it? Oh, don't touch it.
A dog.
A dog.
She asked, who did it? Now, this is the same story, same mother, same boy.
Little more than 48 hours after a dog attack, 2-year-old Desmond is back in his mother's arms again.
He was back with his mother less than 48 hours after the attack.
Everyone says it when it happens to you, but you just really never think.
Now, listen to this. Well, be careful here. Oh, what is this? Oh, sorry about that.
Dog attack. 2-year-old Desmond is back in his mother's arms again.
Everyone says it when it happens to you, but you just really never think that something like that is going to happen.
Well, maybe you should have thought something like that could happen. And why wouldn't you think that something like that could happen? Are there no news reports of things like that happening? Okay, and is this a case of you not actually checking the news reports? to see how often things like this happen before leaving him over someone's home? See, if you were like me or like any of us, we would have done that. Okay? As soon as we found out, oh, there's a pit bull over there, my child is not going over there. Because we're familiar with the information. Why weren't you? Should you be given a pass? I don't think so. No. And you don't need news reports to discover that these things can kill. Don't tell me that. Don't try to tell me that now. You didn't even need the news reports. But they were there. But we all know that dogs can kill. But listen to what she says.
And at first I was anxious.
Mom was moving into her new apartment near 7th Street in Greenway when she realized she had some missed calls.
And I had like 6 missed calls. Tried to call back, they didn't answer right away.
The calls, Kayla Archer says, were from a family friend who was watching her 2-year-old son. The friend, she said,
the owner of the dog that attacked him,
wanted to let her know their dog had bitten Desmond.
A balloon popped and it caused the dog to attack him.
You see that? And that's the mother. So this story that a balloon popped is co-signed by the mother 100%. But understand, the mother wasn't even there. She's saying it right now as if she was physically there, like she witnessed it. She wasn't there. By her own admission, she was not there. She was called on the phone and had to come there. But she co-signing with this story that a balloon popped 100% as if she was there.
Had bitten Desmond.
A balloon popped and it caused the dog to attack him.
So Kayla rushed over to the friend's apartment. Emergency crews had already taken her boy to the hospital.
I calmed myself down. I'm thinking at that point, like, a dog bite, maybe like a couple stitches.
You see? It's what we always talk about. How people in their minds, ignorantly, without ever having examined dog bite injuries before, even though we all can do it, they will always assume that a dog bite is always minor. Oh, a dog bite is minor. Oh, it's no big deal. It's just a dog bite. Oh, it's just a dog bite. There's no excuse for being that ignorant at this point. You can physically, literally see how long a dog's fangs are. Don't tell me that you're not aware that they can inflict serious damage, enough damage to actually kill. Don't tell me you're not aware that they can kill. You know full well that they can kill, that they can inflict serious injuries. You simply took the chance anyways. Nobody gonna buy this idea that you was unaware of what a pit bull can do.
At that point, like a dog bite, maybe like a couple stitches, maybe he hit his head.
It's a pit bull. You trying to play ignorant, as if you were just unaware they could do this much damage, and this is a pit bull. That makes it even less likely that you were ignorant of the capabilities of these things. You knew full well what they could do, and you simply took the chance anyways. Made the sacrifice anyways.
Couple stitches, maybe he hit his head.
The young mother soon learned after seeing Desmond at the hospital the injuries on his face were much more severe.
He turned to me and my brain just went to he will never look the same.
Kayla shared pictures with ABC 15 of how Desmond looked before Saturday's dog attack. She also shared photos of the 2-year-old recovering after surgery.
No parent can ever prepare for that.
This is another story where, and I'm actually happy about this, they're showing their injuries unedited. So in case y'all wondering, that's why I'm not showing any of this. They're showing all these injuries unedited.
For that, no parent can ever.
But I'm not showing them on this because they will quite often disable the comment section, and I don't want them to.
Like, fathom. Like, it hits me randomly, and I'm just like, I almost lost my baby.
Y'all hear that? Hear that? It's a real good psychological study, man. Check this out. Listen to her.
Parent can ever prepare for that. No parent can ever, like, fathom. Like, it hits me.
No parent could fathom, could ever prepare for that. Why not? All the evidence that something like this could happen is right there in your face. It's not hidden behind anything. I will never buy this idea that these people are oblivious to the threat, to the risk that they're taking.
Randomly, and I'm just like, I almost lost my baby.
Y'all get off on pit bulls mainly because you know how dangerous they are. Because you know they can kill. There ain't a pit bull lover on this planet that's unaware that these things can kill. Stop it. But I do believe that some of these people, even though they're aware of what a pit bull can do, they will still believe that the pit bull that they're around won't attack. They'll still believe that their personal dog or pit bull won't attack. They'll still believe that. Because when they hear about these stories about dog attacks, they always assume that was some rare situation where the dog probably had a glitch or some rare infection like rabies or something that made it lose its mind, temporarily blacked out, and in their mind, no normal dog would do that. No, this is normal behavior for dogs, especially, well, I won't say especially, but this also includes members in a dog's own pack. They attack even members of their own pack or / so-called family, like y'all like to call them. So we're dealing with so-called animals. And we need to measure them based on their nature and how they function and act and think naturally. Their nature is to form packs and to establish the ranks in those packs through violence. Violence is a part of their nature. Y'all all know this. And man, y'all all guilty. You need to be arrested. She is responsible. Her and listen to this.
It's like I almost lost my baby.
Phoenix police tells ABC 15 they responded to the scene and spoke to those involved. As for Kayla, she tells us the dog's owner is someone close to her and Desmond.
The dog's owner is close to her and the boy who was attacked. Where do you think they got that information from? They got that information from her, the mother of this boy. Let me rewind that.
Scene and spoke to those involved. As for Kayla, she tells us the dog's owner is someone close to her and Desmond.
We love them. They love us. We've had a conversation. They told me, like, you can be mad at me. This was my fault. And my philosophy on that is, like, being mad at you will do nothing for me.
That's what she told her friend, who was the owner of the dog that attacked her son. So in other words, she made up with them. They basically talked about it, said, oh, don't worry about it. He'll get over it. He'll heal up, and it'll be like it never happened. He'll be back to normal. And she's wasted no time trying to project him as having been back to normal already, as if it never happened.
Its philosophy on that is, like, being mad at you will do nothing.
Okay, this is her interaction with the owner of the dog, who is also her friend.
Be mad at me. This was my fault. And my philosophy on that is like, being mad at you will do nothing for
you. Can be mad at me. This was my fault. But I am not going to put my dog down. That's the discussion that you had with your friend. And you said, don't worry, I don't want you to. A balloon popped. It frightened the poor, nervous pooch. And the dog attacked. And when the dog attacked, it didn't know what it was doing. It was simply responding to the loud noise. It blacked out. That's what you're trying to say. That's what you want to say. That's what you're leaving out of the story. How about that? That's terrible. That's terrible. That's a true sacrifice.
You can be mad at me. This was my fault.
But I am not going to put my dog down. Don't worry, I don't want you to. Listen.
And my philosophy on that is like, being mad at you will do nothing for me.
For now, Kayla is focused on medical care for her son. Family has set up an online fundraiser to help. As for the dog, Kayla says to this point, police have not removed it from the home.
As for the dog, to this point, police have not removed it from the home. Why? Because the mother is not pursuing charges. The mother is not going to push to have the dog put down. She is a pit bull lover. These people view the life of a pit bull as far more valuable, far more important than the life and or well-being of themselves and their own children. And they just gave you a real strong example of that. So I'm not mischaracterizing these people. I'm not charging them with doing anything that they're not actually doing. All I'm doing is showing you what they're doing and what they are saying. It's horrible. It's criminal. It's immoral. Okay? And I'm just glad we're able to document what's going on in this era. Big shout out to everybody. This is the, I don't know, third, fourth live stream. A lot of work. I've been busy. Now I'm tired. The majority of the streams and content for the rest of the week will most likely be private or members in the members area. I feel like I'm caught up pretty good, but let me tell you something. Today's Tuesday. If I wait until Friday to produce content, you watch and see how far behind I'll be. You watch and see how many stories have compiled by then, just after a few little old days. Yeah, this whole dog culture is crazy and pathetic. It's a very creepy story right here. But this is why this dog culture is falling apart. It's because of wickedness like this. This is pure evil, man. And people are just going to get tired of it. Big shout out to everybody able to join me for all these live streams and helping me to hammer these points home by sharing comments in the comment section and the chat room of these videos. And I hope to see you all back on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.